What's up, everybody? My name is Dr. Zach Guiser, and this is another entry into the Athlete Development Journal where we talk about developing speed, strength, power, health, and character so athletes get the most out of their athletic career.
Yeah, straight A student, but I'm friends with the cool kids. Following the rules and the rubric. Freestyle on the bus.
What are you willing to do that others won't? Showing up to practice is table stakes. Almost everyone does that. But few come in 30 minutes early and leave 30 minutes after to put in extra work on their specific needs. Speed and strength training is more ubiquitous than it's ever been. Nearly all teams lift in some capacity. But not as many athletes design intentional, science-backed, non-bodybuilder programs. Very few actually execute those programs with elite consistency and intensity. The work that you're willing to put in provides you with opportunities that others won't get out. If you want an edge, one of the things I see athletes stay least committed to is their nutrition. There are over 1 million influencers on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, posting about nutrition, and they're all telling you something different. One person tells you to eat a keto diet to transform your life, while the next person tells you that eating any fat at all will immediately clog your arteries. You watch a video that talks about how the only thing that matters is calories and macros, if it fits your macros, IIFYM, you know? Well, then you scroll down and you see another one describing how all calories are not created equal. You'll see one shredded biohacker claiming that you must practice intermittent fasting and skip breakfast to unlock fat burning mode and focus, while the next jack trainer you see insists that skipping breakfast is the fastest way to crash your metabolism and lose all your muscle mass. As with most anything, the truth is usually somewhere in the middle and dependent on contextual factors. The noise can be overwhelming, so I want to provide you with a simple, actionable nutrition checklist that you can start using today. I break it down into 6 levels where you must demonstrate near automatic competency before moving on to the next level. Some of you will work all the way down to level 6 throughout your career, while others will get more than enough by just mastering the first 3 levels. Let's get to it. When you start out at level 1, you need to focus on eating 4 to 7 meals per day, eating a palm-sized portion of protein with every meal, and drinking 0.5 to 1.0 ounces of water per pound of body weight per day every day. So diving a little deeper on each of those. You need to eat 4 to 7 meals per day. As an athlete who needs enough fuel for intense practices and games, this almost always means breakfast is a must. To get your 4 to 7 meals in per day, you'll need to eat every 2 to 4 hours. So that means you'll have to pack snacks for school, practice, and work. Eating a palm-sized portion of protein with every meal is a quick and easy way for you to measure how much protein you're getting in. This works out to somewhere around 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal. So if you're someone who's going to use protein shake after practice instead of eating some meat, you're going to look for around 20 to 30 grams of protein in that shake. Drinking 0.5 to 1.0 ounces of water per pound of body weight per day, every day, is a variable number. So maybe it'll be around 100 ounces for you. If you're a lot bigger, it's going to be more. If you're a lot smaller, it'll be less. But on average, for most athletes, if you get somewhere around 100 ounces of water per day, you're going to be all right. When you master that, you can then move on to level 2 and lock in on eating 2 fist-sized portions of vegetables per day, eating 2 fist-sized portions of fruit per day, and minimizing or eliminating liquid calories. So that's pop, energy drinks, juice, Powerade, Gatorade, etc. Now, if you're a hard gainer trying to put on weight, though, using high-quality liquid calories like milk or 100% juice can be a great way to get more fuel in. When you master that, you can then move on to level 3 and make sure you're minimizing heavily processed foods, consuming universally proven supplements like creatine, a multivitamin, and whey protein, and eating specific macronutrients at specific times of day to enhance performance. Let's dive a little deeper on each of those. So, minimizing heavily processed foods, this one's going to be highly debated and it's going to be way more complex than you need to make it. The more it looks like it came from nature, the better it is. A fresh peach is better than a fruit cup of peaches, which is better than fruit snacks or peach pie. A chicken breast is better than a rotisserie chicken, which is better than chicken nuggets. A baked potato is better than potato chips. Don't get too far down the rabbit hole, though. You're not going to be able to fuel yourself with wholly unprocessed foods. That's just not realistic, nor is there really a reason to. Just don't live completely off of highly processed ones. When it comes to consuming supplements, you can start with whey protein earlier than that. You don't have to wait all the way till here to actually start using whey protein. It's a quick and easy way for you to get your protein needs met, so don't stress too much about that. When it comes to creatine, I've got a lot of resources on this. I'll link to that in the show notes. Multivitamins, again, you don't have to wait till this point, but you don't necessarily need to focus on that until you're getting your fruits and vegetables in and all that other stuff. When it comes to nutrient timing, so eating specific macronutrients at specific times of day, the big one we're going to talk about is eating some sort of carbohydrate within 30 to 60 minutes after workout to replenish your glycogen stores. So we store glycogen in your muscle. And if you don't have enough carbohydrate soon enough after your workout, then you might not be fully ready for another high intensity day the day after. So that's kind of the big one. Your protein amounts throughout the day tends to not really matter as long as you're hitting your total protein needs. It's nice and easy. It's a good kind of reminder to have a protein shake with some milk afterwards. You hit your carbohydrate, you hit your protein numbers. It's a nice, easy way to make sure you get it. The other nutrient timing stuff that might matter a little bit is making sure that you get some carbohydrate into you before a highly intense practice or workout. And so that might be some quick and easy high glycemic index foods, or that could be some sort of casein protein shake that you take at night if you're someone who's really, really trying hard to gain some weight here. When you master that, you can then move on to level 4 and start setting caloric and macronutrient targets, then tracking with AI. At this level, we take your height, your weight, your activity level, and we build out how many calories, how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbohydrates, and how many grams of fat you should eat per day. Then you use the new AI technology to quickly analyze a picture of the food you're eating and tell you the nutritional makeup of that meal. The AI method is more specific than levels 1 through 3 because we're actually taking the time to set caloric and macronutrient targets, but it's a lot less accurate than actually weighing and measuring your food. So if you're somebody who just needs a rough estimate, this is great. However, when you master that, you can then move on to level 5 and focus on setting caloric and macronutrient targets just like level 4, but now we track with manual weighing, measuring, and logging. This is time consuming, but it's the most specific, most accurate way that we can make sure you're consuming what you're supposed to be consuming, and then we can make changes based off of how your body weight, body composition changes from week to week as we are hitting those caloric and macronutrient targets. Once you become an elite athlete making a ton of money off your performance, then you can move on to level 6 and start using advanced blood work to make micronutrient and supplement decisions, and using advanced imaging and measurements to make nutrition periodization decisions. But we don't have to jump there right away. We want to work our way up and do the fundamentals, the things that are going to make the biggest difference first. Start with the basics because they're the things that are going to give you the most bang for your buck. If you've got advanced imaging, you're getting on the DEXA, you know exactly what your body comp is, but you're not hitting your caloric numbers and you're not hitting your protein goals, none of this is going to matter. Most importantly, all of this requires you being proactive, not reactive. That means you have to have a plan going into the week. Know what you're going to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner each day. Pack snacks for school, for practice, for games, for work. Know when you're probably going to need to eat out and identify restaurants that have high quality options available, like Chipotle and Chick-fil-A. The other thing is you have to set yourself up for success. Fill your house up with high quality food options and eliminate the low quality ones. If your pantry is loaded with Oreos, Cap'n Crunch, Cheetos, you're going to eventually binge on them. If there is going to be junk food in the house, ask for it to be put in an opaque bin or on a high shelf out of your direct line of sight. We're not expecting perfection from you. Just focus on being better, not perfect. Don't let one slip up become two. If you have to eat a low quality meal because of a travel schedule, that's okay. Just don't keep slipping down that slippery slope. Just a reminder, your worth is not determined by how you're playing on the field. Your value is not dependent on how you're performing in the classroom. Who you are is not a factor of whether or not you hit your macros yesterday. You, just as you are more than enough. Now, as always, let's wrap this up with a couple important things. Number one, this newsletter and podcast is completely free. I spend many hours each week researching, writing, illustrating, recording, editing, and uploading. The best way you can support it and allow it to continue is to share it with people you know. You can just send them to gtperformance.co/newsletter and they can subscribe there. Or, you can just send them this podcast and they can subscribe wherever you send them the podcast at. Everything in these newsletters, podcasts, and social media and on our website is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice for you or your athlete. Please consult directly with a healthcare professional. Thank you so much for your help in spreading the word about athlete development. Until next time, go be great out there.
Yeah, straight A student, but I'm friends with the cool kids. Following the rules and the rubric. Freestyle.